Hello out there in the Mad River Valley, and welcome to Theater Time with Doug Bergstein. I'm Doug Bergstein, and I'm here with several members of this year's TenFest 2026 Conversations at a Table. With us today, we've got Kim Ward. Hi, Kim.
Right?
Hey, and Andra Kisler. Hello, Andra.
Hello, Doug.
Paul Cavaliere. How's that, Paul? Is it
Cavaliere,
French
but that's fine.
pronunciation? Okay.
Good
And
enough.
Jim Sampson, welcome.
Hello.
All right, so we've got a writer, a director, a producer, a couple of actors, and some are both, right? That's what we've got present here. So Kim, as the one of the head honchos of this thing and the longtime participant and organizer, conversations at a table. That's the theme. What does it mean?
Yeah. Yes, to each author, it means a little different, but a little different thing. And it's interesting to see how those play out amongst the 10 plays. But we chose conversations at a table. We usually do a theme to try to drive the playwrights' ideas for what they're going to do and make everything kind of coherent for TenFest. In particular, what it means is there is a table and two chairs during the show, which simplified it a lot for us since, as you know, Valley Players is rehabbing its building and we were going to be in a different space. We wanted to
Mhm.
keep it simple also. Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool premise. And I understand this was your brainchild, yes?
Yeah, for years I've wanted to sort of do one show, do the TenFest where there'd be one set, and we would just use that set, and we wouldn't have to do a whole lot of scene changing. And
Hmm.
also, I've seen other play festivals that do that. Um, Scenes from the Staten Island Ferry is one that happens every year, and they literally have a set of the front end of the Staten Island Ferry. And
Oh, cool.
Devore Zipkin had a play in there one year. She's a member,
Oh,
so we
wow.
thought, well, why not try that?
Nice, nice. And so, because Valley Players in Waitsfield is shut down, this year's festival is at City Hall in Montpelier. That's exciting. The
Yes,
home of Lost Nation Theater.
correct.
Nice.
Also, the place that we first did summer staged readings when we very first started as an organization, the Vermont Playwright Circle, they
So the
hosted
pre
us.
so is that the
Yeah,
predecessor to Ten Fest or just sort of the beginning of
it's a
Vermont
part of
Playwright?
what we've done. Yeah, so I think people often think Vermont Playwrights is TenFest, but we do monthly workshops, we do readings. For a long time, we kind of laid off readings,
Uh-huh.
like from COVID forward,
Yep.
but we do TenFest. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Okay, let's move on to Andra, Andra, you have been involved with Ten Fest from the beginning as an actor. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think there were only 2 years during which I I didn't take part. So it's kind of
Uh-huh.
like old home week, except it feels like I moved. My home is a different place. I'm a little
Yeah,
nervous.
yeah. You'll adjust. I'm confident.
Okay, I hope
Um,
so.
so over the years, you have played many roles, and
Many.
you've also been involved in full-length plays as well. So from your perspective, what's the what are the advantages or the cool things or the positives, the pluses about being involved in TenFest?
Well, I'm so glad you asked.
How many ways can I list it?
So as I get older,
Uh,
I discover that learning lines becomes trickier.
hmm
And so I sort of psych myself up for TenFest by thinking, all right, it's a 10-minute play. If there are two cast members, I only have 5 minutes worth of dialogue to learn. If there are three, I have 3 1/3 minutes, and so on.
Uh-huh.
So it still seems very long when I've got my scripts and, I'm working minute by minute trying to get through and learn all of my lines. And this year I'm in two stories. And so that means that many lines.
So clearly you have not done a monologue because how many minutes would that be?
That would be 10 whole minutes, Douglas. I have not. You have,
I
however.
have. That
Yes,
was a
you
long
have.
time.
That was. I did do a monologue as a staged reading a
Uh-huh.
month or so ago. And yeah, I'm glad I did not have to learn all those
So,
lines.
in your two plays, they are, tell me the names of them. The four, no, not, you're not in that one. You're in
I'm in
Legacy.
Legacy, and I play a character named Anne. And
Okay,
this is sort of a little Agatha Christie-ish
cool. And that's
piece.
written by Sarah McDougal. Is this her first play
It
that was accepted?
is it, Kim?
I believe it
Yeah,
was.
that's
Yeah.
cool. That's great.
Hmm.
That's great. And then what's the other play that you're
And the
in?
other one is called White Lies by
Okay.
Jim Thompson, and I play Sarah, who is a therapist.
Okay. And do you sit on the same side of the table in each play?
I'm not sure
What do
a
you mean you're
hundred
not
about
sure?
that. I'm not, well, I've only had one rehearsal for each one, so things are not like really solidified
Okay.
yet. We're
Well, I
still
hope,
rehearsing in my living room.
okay, I hope that if you are on the same side, you don't get the plays confused because
Yeah, I hope so too.
it could be a problem.
Especially because in one I have an English accent.
Oh, that would be confusing.
That would be
Now
confusing,
you're
yes.
playing opposite. I'm seeing that there's more than two actors in each of these. So conversations at a table, sometimes there are more than two people
Hmm.
at the table.
Right.
So
So
how
you've
did,
got a
yeah.
table and two chairs, but oftentimes four people.
Oh, so are there waiters or like is a restaurant one of the settings?
We've got a couple of cafes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And all right. Thank you, Andra, for giving us your years of wisdom, sharing your years of
My
wisdom.
old ladiness.
So, Jim, I don't recognize your name. Is this your first play for with
Uh,
TenFest?
yes. Well, I just moved to Vermont in December,
Okay. Well,
and
welcome.
yeah, thank you. I have jumped into the Vermont theater scene, and I lived in New York City for 42 years,
Okay.
and
I
I'm
hear they
just,
do theater there.
I
yeah,
hear
a
that you,
little. In fact, I'm actually doing way more theater here in Vermont than I was doing in New York.
Great.
My degree is in musical theater. You
Okay.
know, I'm an actor, but I just wasn't doing very much there. And here, it seems like every other town has a community theater or semi-professional, and everybody comes out to support it, which I just love. I just think that's fantastic. And I've had a few plays done around the area, and I participated as an actor in a festival in Waterbury in May, and I had joined Vermont Playwrights Circle and submitted a play that got accepted, and then I went to the auditions and, you know, made my wishes known about being in my own play, and they were granted. So
So, have you had any rehearsals yet in the play that you're in? And
we've had a we've had a couple, but finding space has been a challenge. So I don't know what side of the table I'm going to be on yet.
what is it like being in your own play? Is this the first time that's happened for you?
I actually did one of my own in California last year, and you'd be amazed how hard it is to memorize your own lines
What do you
because
mean you can't remember them? You wrote them.
you think you wrote it, you should know the whole thing forward and backward. But of course, when you're writing something, you're writing it, your brain is in a different place.
Of course.
Then you come to it as an actor, and it's like, oh, I've got to memorize all these lines that I thought, were so great. And now I see what I'm putting the actors through. So, and in fact, the play I did last year was really hard to memorize because a lot of the lines were very similar, and just because of the setting and where it was and the way it was written, it was really hard. So I learned a lot about what should and should not be done to actors, even though I am one. But so anyway, this one is much easier. I'm having a
Uh-huh.
great time, and I'm one third of the cast, so I don't have quite as many lines.
Okay. There's certainly something to be said for people in the industry doing other roles to understand truly what is entailed by performing that role, whether you're a cameraman or a director or a writer or lighting. I mean, if you get involved in various ways, you'll understand why people are doing the things they're doing.
Yeah,
So good for
exactly.
you. Good on you.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I mean, I consider myself a Renaissance man, and trying other people's positions and understanding what they do. I We did this at school. We had to take classes in lighting and costume and sets and all the other things,
Yeah,
which was really valuable because when you're on stage, you're the actor. You think you're the only one who matters, but if you don't have a set, you got nothing in front behind you. If you don't have lights, nobody can see you.
that's
So
right.
it's very valuable to understand, what the other how the other parts come together.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to get you into the Valley Players Theater when we reopen. That's not that far from you.
Hmm.
Paul, you have begun to take on the role more and more of directing.
Yes,
That's
I
become
think
your thing, hasn't it? For me,
I've kind of, I would say I've sort of eased into that over the past few years.
hmm
I think this is my seventh TenFest now. I started before COVID,
Yeah.
but I've been directing since. So this would be the sixth year.
Yeah,
So, and every year that I've done it, I mean, the theme's been different.
of course.
But I think having been an actor, and I still consider myself an actor, if there's a good role to audition for, I've done that. But I think having had the perspective of being directed by a lot of different people with different opinions on how to put a show together, I think it's helped inform me as to how I go about directing a piece. And
hmm
then I also directed for the festival that Jim mentioned in Waterbury earlier this
Yep.
year. Um,
Yep.
the theme for that, it was a comedy festival, so there was no specific theme. Everything was just a comedy. So each show that I do, I like to sort of give myself a new challenge. For that previous festival, there was a lot of physical comedy involved. This time, not only are we in a different space for TenFest, so I'm going to be working with a different sort of idea of staging because we have, a three-quarter stage. There's going to be audience on three
Right.
sides instead of
Right.
one. And we also have a 10-year-old in the cast. This will be my first time directing somebody that's, still in school. So it comes with its own challenges, but I think I've spent years observing
hmm
what people do, and I think it's kind of put me in a good position to, you know, have an idea of what I want to see happening on the stage, but you know, take time to hear what the actors have to say and let their opinions of their own characters inform how we might do movements and say lines.
Nice. Do you have a favorite part about being a director? Is there something that speaks to you or?
Well, as fun as it is to be in charge, it's also, I think you have a really like it's a balancing act because I think to be a good director, and many of the good directors I've worked with are adept at managing different people's personalities and sort of putting the personalities together and balancing different people's needs to get the best production and to get the best show out of them and to focus it on us doing this together as a team versus I'm going to say what to do, so you do this. And I've never tried to do that. I've always been, let's see how this works. um, I like to say that and I've said at rehearsals, that I like to direct from the audience perspective because I'm a tough audience member. I
Okay.
tend to get bored pretty quickly. So I like to direct something that I think I would want to watch. I wouldn't be staring down at my phone. I want to be able to look at the people on the stage and get into what's going on. So with that, it's kind of letting me inform the energy level of the show. So I like to direct pieces that have a nice high energy level so that I know that, the audience is going to be watching the actors on the stage because
Mhm.
that's what they came to do. And when you have that audience energy going back and forth with you, on the stage, it's more fun for everybody in the room.
Nice. Nice. Kim, thanks, Paul. Could you give us a sense of what the general idea of what our span of plays are about?
Sure. What I've been saying in my PR is, these plays run the gamut from funny to poignant to mysterious. So we have a mystery, we have some love triangles and issues going on, but we also have very touching relationships between siblings. So it's a really nice array of shows this year, I feel. We're wide open by just saying conversations at a table. And I think conversations means people really connecting. And I think it's making for a really nice span. I mean, I know Jeannie Beckwith likes to say, it's TenFest. If you don't like this one, wait 5 minutes. Another one's coming up. But I feel like it's a really strong array of shows and comedic stuff. Yeah, it's really fun.
So you mentioned that a couple are taking place in a cafe.
Yeah, we got some cafes. Yeah, we've got some cafes. We got some kitchen tables. We've got everything from the show Pre-Wedding Jitters, which was written by Kekla Magoon, which is a bride-to-be and two folks who are trying to navigate that, bridezilla stuff to, I mean, I love Jim's play in that it's this, I want to use the word parody, Jim. Does that sort of resonate with you?
I wouldn't say parody, maybe
it's a comedy, but it's
satire. Oh, it's an absolutely
satire. That's the word. His is a satire. So we've got all sorts of places that things are taking place. Some are at mysterious workplaces. So
mysterious workplaces.
I'm saying that's the one that I'm actually producing. I'm directing a play and I'm in a play. And the one I'm in, I would say, has a mysterious workplace. Yes.
Okay. All right. And so the one that is the wedding, where in the building does that take place?
It takes place at the kitchen table.
Okay.
Right. It's pre-wedding, so it's getting ready for the wedding.
Oh, not day of. Not day of.
Okay. Not the actual wedding. Yeah, it's just before the wedding. Family, you know how that is when family come together.
Sure.
Different expectations.
And so where are your actors and directors coming from? Specifically, don't just say all over.
I know. We've got folks who live in Montpelier, folks from the Valley. We've got people who are up in the Burlington area. So definitely a lot of Washington County folks, with some folks from outside of Washington County. And the playwrights, because our definition of a Vermont playwright is anyone who's lived for 3 months consecutively at any time in their life in Vermont. We have people who lived here as children, people who came every summer.
Yep.
And that was initially done because we had summer stock actors coming to Lost Nation who were good writers going back to New York City, but they'd be here every summer.
Right.
So we, it's that opposite of you're not 6 generations,
Yeah.
We got people from around New England.
Nice.
Writing as well.
Do you feel like being based in Montpelier opened it up a little bit more?
It's changed the dynamic of who's auditioned for sure. We have people from Montpelier who might not regularly participate in TenFest because they feel like it's closer this year. But we also have some regulars who have come over from the Valley. RuthAnn Pattee is directing and,
Yep. And so has rehearsal space has been a bit of an issue. I mean, when you're at the
I would
theater,
say
you get the whole theater for whenever you need it. And
that's one thing I would say that it's making people appreciate, right?
Yeah.
Is that when we get it, we got it. When we don't, we don't. So we have one member of the cast who has offered his yoga studio. A lot of us, because it is at a table, are rehearsing
Everyone's got a table.
Tables, so it's been a unique challenge. It'll be interesting to see it come together.
Yeah, cool. Andra, do you have a favorite role over the years?
I did such a lovely piece last year that really spoke to me, but I've also had funny robot kind of pieces. I've sort of gotten typecast as robots. And so I
see you as a real person.
Well, sometimes I can be a robot. I really love comedy. I'm not involved in any comedy this year, but I've done many comedic roles, and that in general is my favorite.
Okay.
Were you in the chicken play? Were
I
you in
was
the
in the
chicken play?
chicken play. I was
She's
in the
played
chicken play.
chickens,
I was in the pigeon
robots.
play, although I was a
Oh
Yeah,
duck.
yeah.
pigeons.
Well, that was a series of plays about animals, wasn't it?
It was
Mm.
this in the park thing, the outside
Okay.
theme got a lot of animals
Yeah.
involved.
Well, going back in history, Kim, what are some of the, or Paul or Andra, either one who have been involved for so long, what are some of the more interesting themes of TenFest that you have encountered?
Mm. I mean, I think when
Putting
we
you on
did
the
a
spot.
light bulb moment as a theme,
Yeah,
that generated some really great things. What
sure.
do you guys think?
Well, we've
I
only
would,
been doing
oh, go ahead,
those
Andra.
themes for a few
Like
years.
3 or 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. It was just pretty much anything before that.
Just give me a play.
Give me
Yeah.
a 10-minute play.
My
Yeah.
first TenFest was the one right before COVID, and that's when we did TenFest in October. And so the theme was, I think, Fantasy Fest. And I'm looking back at that now and thinking, that really gave a wide range of different types of plays that we got that year. And I remember I acted in three. It's possible to act in three, sometimes even more, but it's a juggling act.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of having everybody has a table because we're kind of all starting from the same spot and you can actually do a lot with a table and chair. So I like this year's theme. I didn't know how I felt about it when it was first picked, but I've kind of grown fond of that.
Nice. Nice. All right, Jim, any words of wisdom for people new to the area who are thinking about picking up a pen? Well, no one picks up a pen anymore. Getting
I
their
do.
okay.
And the writers go, yeah, we do.
Yeah, no, I'm a dinosaur. I actually write my plays longhand.
Sweet.
That's
So,
awesome.
what do you have to say about the people who are out there thinking, I'd kind of like to do that?
Mm.
Um, Give it a shot. I would also say, give it a shot, write out your ideas, but also join a playwrights group so that you can get feedback. Because I think too often people think they can write a play and they
Mhm.
write a play and it's kind of a
Not a
mess.
play.
So you really need the outside voices to say, maybe you want to change this, or you might want to change the ending to that, just and especially if you get involved with a group with people with more experience who can who can point out, maybe flaws or mistakes or whatever,
Mhm.
or just some basics. If somebody, has never taken a class, just some basics that a person just picking up a pen or a laptop might not necessarily know.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but I would say, Vermont to me just feels like absolutely fertile ground, both for actors and writers and directors.
Okay.
Anybody who wants to be involved in theater, I'm just amazed and stunned at how much is going on here and how much support it gets. I'm just really impressed by
Mm.
that.
Nice. Nice.
Nice. The
Kim,
other thing people might consider doing is see some theater.
going to see it.
If you
Yeah.
want to write a play, see some theater because
Yeah, that's a great
sometimes
idea.
people do that. They're like, I'm going to write a play, but they've never been to the theater.
Mm.
That's a
Seeing,
Uh,
weird thing.
that's
seeing
an
theater
excellent,
is also
obvious,
helpful for
it feels like
directors.
an
I don't know.
obvious first step.
It does, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
So, Kim, are there any barriers to joining the Vermont Playwrights Circle?
No, I mean, anyone who wants to come to workshops can. And we went to Zoom during COVID and we've never gone back to meeting live. So you could be in California and come to workshops. We don't care, you know.
As long as you
Um,
lived in Vermont for 3 months
a dream,
consecutively.
you know, see, that's when we do the Vermont like we want Vermont plays to be presented
Oh,
ideally in
okay.
our productions.
Gotcha.
But other
Gotcha.
than that, I think, yeah, just a desire to participate.
Sweet. Sweet.
Yeah.
I should
Okay.
also add, if
Yeah,
I may, that you do
of
not
course.
need to be a writer to come to the Playwright Circle workshops. You can be someone that just wants to read. I've done that since I started,
Oh,
and I've never actually written anything, but I'll just go to
Yeah.
read. Typically, there's a dearth of male presenting actors at the workshop, so I get parts and I just read them.
okay. All right. Thanks, Paul. All right. I'm going to give a little, some details about the TenFest 2026 conversations at a table being presented at City Hall in Montpelier. And one weekend only, Friday, August 7th at 7:30, Saturday, August 8th at 7:30, and Sunday, August 9th at 2 p.m. matinee. You can get your tickets at Lost Nation Theater. Just head to their website and you'll see the link to TenFest. There's also a live stream on Friday. Can you tell us about that a little bit, Kim?
Yeah, they started doing live streams for COVID, kept doing it when the elevator was out, and are still doing one live stream a show. So they've offered this to us. They're also going to record it. So if you can't see the live stream, you can also get the recording later.
Can you
And it
buy
was
tickets
just,
for that?
you buy a $20 ticket to get the recording, and then after a certain amount of time, we're going to make it free to people on YouTube. So there's lots of ways to see it, and
Great.
it does make it more accessible.
Yeah.
Although
Nice.
the elevator works at City
The
Hall
elevator's
now.
working. Yay.
So come on
Okay.
down.
Well, all of you, thank you so much for sharing your love of plays and acting and all things theater and being here for this show. And out there in the Mad
Thank
River
you.
Valley, thanks for tuning in. See you, everyone.